Let's get right into it. For most of human history, where you lived was pretty much set in stone. It was about chance, maybe necessity, but that's all changing, and it's changing fast. We're living in a time where your address, well, it's not just a place on a map anymore. It's a strategic decision.
And I'm not talking about a small moving bonus from a new job. I mean, what if you could really get paid? What if a town, a city, or even an entire country offered you cold, hard cash, maybe a house or huge tax breaks, just to pack your bags and show up?
Look, this isn't some sci-fi fantasy. It's happening right now, all over the world. It's become a global marketplace of places, a really high-stakes competition for talent, for new ideas, and for growth. So, welcome to what we're calling the Great Relocation Game.
So here's how we're going to break it down. We'll look at the playbook. We'll start with the moves individuals can make, then pivot to what this means for entrepreneurs and founders. After that, we'll zoom out to see the massive shifts happening with entire industries. And finally, we'll get to the heart of it, what's really driving this whole shuffle.
Okay, so here's the big idea. Your location, it's no longer just a passive backdrop to your life. It's now an active part of your strategy, both personally and professionally. It's an asset, something you can actually leverage for financial gain, a competitive business advantage, and yeah, a better quality of life.
So let's kick things off with play number one, the personal move. This is where things get really interesting because we're seeing towns and even countries literally putting money on the table to get people to move there. They're trying to revitalize communities, bring in new skills, and just inject some fresh energy. And the offers are all over the place. You've got these famous €1 homes in Italy, cash grants in Spain, and get this, a free house plus a monthly stipend on a remote Greek island. It just goes to show you, this isn't some fringe idea anymore. It's a real global strategy.
Some of these deals are just jaw-dropping. Take Ireland's Our Living Islands initiative. They are offering up to €84,000. And that's not a loan, it's a grant. The catch? You have to move to one of their beautiful offshore islands and fix up an old vacant property. I mean, think about that. That's a life-changing amount of money to start a whole new chapter.
Or how about this one? The stunningly beautiful Swiss village of Albanen. They're offering 25,000 Swiss francs for every adult who moves there, plus another 10,000 for each kid. The only major string attached is that you have to commit to living there for 10 years. They're basically investing in their own future, one family at a time.
Okay, let's switch gears to our second play, which is all about the entrepreneurs. If you thought the competition for people was fierce, the global battle for innovative new companies, that's on a completely different level. For a startup founder, making the right move can literally change everything.
And a perfect example of a place that gets this is Cyprus. It's not just a vacation spot anymore. They are deliberately, strategically turning themselves into a go-to hub for tech and innovation. Why? Because they offer an EU credible base with a system designed from the ground up to attract the world's next big ideas.
And here is where you can really see the financial firepower. In a typical high-tax European country, a founder could be paying, say, 20 to 30% in corporate taxes, and then another 20 to 30% when they take dividends out for themselves. But in Cyprus, the corporate rate is slashed to 12.5%. And through something called non-dom status, a foreign founder can often pay zero tax on their dividends. That is a massive, massive game changer for a startup's cash flow.
But the strategy is even deeper than that. They have what's called an IP box regime, which gives huge tax breaks on income from things like software code and patents, the lifeblood of a tech company. They also offer super deductions, which means for every dollar you spend on R&D, you can deduct more than $1 from your taxable income. And the best part? They do all of this while being a full EU member, which gives investors and banks the credibility and confidence they need.
And this isn't just some vague idea. There's a clear roadmap to make it happen. It all starts with a strategic look at your business. Then you define what role this new hub will play. Is it your HQ, just for your IP? Then comes the legal and tax stuff, and finally, you go operational. It's a complex process, for sure, but they've made it manageable. All right, on to our third and final play. Let's zoom out, way out, because this isn't just about individuals or startups anymore. We are seeing entire industries, whole supply chains, strategically moving around the globe. This is the big one, the corporate shift, and it's literally reshaping the economic map of the world.
So a huge driver behind this shift is a concept called nearshoring. After the pandemic completely tangled up global supply chains, a lot of companies had a wake-up call. They realized how fragile everything was. So now they're moving production closer to home. It's not just about finding the cheapest labor anymore. It's about stability, control, and being resilient. And one of the most powerful tools that governments have to attract all this new business is the Special Economic Zone, or SEZ. The best way to think about these is like business laboratories. They're special areas with their own rules, much lower taxes, and top-tier infrastructure, all designed to be completely irresistible magnets for investment. And if you want to understand the sheer power of SEZs, you only have to look at China. Back in the late 70s, they started with these little experiments like Shenzhen. Well, that model exploded. By 2007, these zones were responsible for an incredible 60% of the country's exports and had created over 30 million jobs. It's one of the most successful economic development stories in modern history. Full stop. So we've looked at the money, we've looked at the corporate logic, but what's the human story in all of this? Why are so many people, so many companies, suddenly willing to just uproot everything? Well, the answer goes way beyond a spreadsheet. And here's the bottom line. These moves are being driven more and more by a search for something more. It's a hunt for better health, for a stronger sense of community, for cleaner air and safer streets. It's a fundamental reevaluation of what success and a good life actually mean to us. This quote really nails it. It's not just about living a long time, it's about living well. It's about how the place you live, your city, your environment, actually supports your well-being through every single stage of your life. It's a much more holistic way of looking at what makes a place great. And you can actually see cities competing on these new metrics all over the world. You've got Madrid with the highest life expectancy in Europe, Barcelona with its amazing superblocks that are cutting pollution, Lisbon, where crime rates are falling. These quality of life factors have become the new strategic assets in this global competition for people. So, it all leads to this really powerful idea. In a world where you can quite literally choose your community, your tax rate, and your quality of life, your location becomes one of the single most important decisions you'll ever make. It's not just about where you are anymore, it's about who you want to become. So that leaves just one question. What's your next move?